What's up, what's up? It's time for Done Way Past Funny with your host, G.D. Fenderson. Join us as we discuss the art, science, and business of comedy with comedians and comedian adjacent. With this episode's guest, Lana Siebel. It's time to get down and get dope with Done Way Past Funny. Hi, welcome to Done Way Past Funny, where we discuss the art, science, and business of comedy with comedians and comedian adjacent. I'm your host, G.D. Fenderson, and, certified forensic. I'm your host, G.D. Fenderson, certified forensic humorist at large, but I'm losing weight. Today, my guest comedian is Lana Siebel. Welcome,
Hello.
Lana.
Hey, how's it going? Good to see you.
I'm doing good. I know we're short on time, so let's get right into this. Tell people a little bit about yourself and how they can stalk you on social media if you are so inclined to let them do that.
Sure, yeah. So I'm Lana Siebel, and I've been doing comedy for over a decade now, and I have lots of headlining dates coming up. Would love for you guys to catch me. I'm going to be in Florida end of the month. I've got some headlining dates in Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, all over the country. And my dry bar comedy special just came out a couple of months ago. It's called Age Appropriate. Love for you guys to see it. It's on Dry Bar Comedy Plus app. And it is going to be coming out on Samsung TV and YouTube. Not sure when, but eventually. And I've also been acting for over 2 decades now. And I started out as a competitive Latin dancer. I was ranked 7th in the United States. I've been in show business, I guess, since I was a kid, been performing. Please catch my dates on Instagram, and I have a lot of funny reels I do as well. It's at Lana Siebel, LANASIEBEL. Facebook, I'm on all the sites. Thankfully, not OnlyFans. Not going
Not yet.
well.
Not yet.
Although I do hear they're doing comedy on OnlyFans now, so that's an interesting. That's cool. I'm all for it. I'm on TikTok, YouTube as well. I do lots of different food reviews. People seem to enjoy it. I'm at Regina's on the Lower East Side. Well, I'm putting another Italian hero into my mouth.
I haven't been here yet. I haven't gone back to food.
No regrets on this one. So it's Lana Siebel. I believe 7 comedian. I should know my YouTube. Anyways, it's a full-time job, this whole social media thing. But yeah, would love for you guys to check me out. Thank you. And
Now,
happy to be here. Yeah.
Your dry bar comedy special called Age Appropriate. How did you come up with the title Age Appropriate?
Yeah, it was actually a challenge. I really wanted, because dry bar is such a cool opportunity. It is so universal. I wanted it to be something maybe everybody can relate to. But I do have, towards the end of the special, I do mention about being age appropriate and how, I'd love for you to watch the special so you can see what it's all about.
Now, I do have a clip from the special. It's about a 2-minute clip, and I'm gonna play it for you. We'll talk about it on the other side.
Okay.
So when I first started dating my husband, I was a lot thinner, he was a lot bigger, and as time went on, I gained a lot of weight, he lost a lot of weight. We're exactly the same size now. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, I think after you're together for a while, you start to look exactly the same. Yeah. And by the way, I gotta tell you, I love the chubsters. I'm a big chubby chaser, okay? Yes. I love the way my husband looked as a chubster. I really did. But both of us, when we first started dating, we had very different expectations from each other. And then we felt like we got the short end of the stick because my husband thought he was dating this athlete, this dancer. He's going to get super fit. And it turns out that I was just starving. And I was like, feed me now, all right? And I thought I was dating this wonderful chubster. I'm going to eat all this delicious food. Turns out that he just had a thyroid condition and a bunch of allergies. So he was eating healthier than I was. But it was so wonderful when we started dating because I loved all the attention because all these other chubsters could feel that I'm interested in them, right? And it was like a bat signal went out to them that I'm interested, or in this case, more like a fat signal, and they came running, which they're not used to doing, and it was so wonderful because instead of giving me just some flowers or some stuffed toys, it would be way better. They'd be like, Lana, try this entire pizza. Lana, try this huge cheesesteak. Lana, have these pastries. And I'd be like, oh, Reginald Vell Johnson, you shouldn't have. I love that you guys know who that is. He played a chubby cop in the 90s sitcom Family Matters. Carl Winslow, the father, yes. He also played the chubby cop in Die Hard. So I have a type.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite bits, actually. And I added so much more on. That's really, it's actually getting a lot of, it's getting tons of views on Instagram. I did that at the Cellar, the new bits, because there's so many restrictions. So I'm really proud of how well it turned out and how hard I worked, because there's just so many restrictions and there's no laugh track. Like these are all
Right.
they don't which a lot of specials they do, which is great.
I didn't know. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Honestly,
no, it's all completely 100%. So I do see some dry bar specials where it's really good comics, but because of so many restrictions, I'm not seeing the audience, there's not a lot of, sometimes it's a long way till there's a laugh, and I'm happy I'm like really hitting, the marks, because I work really hard and you train, and I was really happy that it turned
now,
out as well as it did.
because I'm not totally familiar with like everything you do, obviously. So, but there's some material that you probably did that you've been doing for a while because you're comfortable with and you kind of cleaned up. Were there jokes that you specifically wrote for Dry Bar? That you say, okay, I'm going there and I need something fresh but clean,
Pretty
or
much the whole thing. There was things that I've been using for years, but I had to edit them. I had to. Everything was like different order. A lot of things were taken out. Some were put in. So it pretty much like a new special. It was a lot of things I had to. It's pretty much the whole. The whole. You just start fresh. Yeah, it's kind of insane how much work it is. Yeah.
now now that you've had this experience, first of all, did you have an expectation before you started it, and now that it's done, it turned out a little bit different? So what expectation did you have, and how does that differ from the way it actually turned out for you?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
Yeah, expectation. I've been working really hard to let go of expectations because I've been performing since I was a little kid, and I was very, very hard on myself. And like in the dance world, I reached a pretty high level of success, but I was so brutally hard on myself. It's painful and almost destructive and hurtful towards myself. So I really have been working hard to not have any expectations and really just try to put in the work and kind of get out of my own way. And so it's been pretty deep work. And I think it turned out even better because I think I've been through so much, that just allowing myself to do the work and being nicer to myself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's going very far. So it turned out probably even better than I imagined.
Now, when I think of comedy as an art, a science, a business, and a psychology,
You're
it's like
absolutely right about that. Yeah.
it's all of those things for me. Now, so in that keeping that in mind, because you may not view comedy that way, but if you do, bless you. But what is the hardest lesson that you've had to learn about the art and or the business of comedy?
Oh my gosh, that's a loaded question. A lot of lessons. A lot. And like you were saying, when you start out doing comedy, it's brutal, and And then you realize you're kind of, as difficult as it is and as combative as it could be, you do realize you're kind of, there's an inner conflict, which is you're trying to solve. So
Right.
that, and you really have to become your own friend and your own great friend, because, you know, especially when you're starting out and there's a lot of very angry, not mentally well adjusted people, they're not comics yet, people around you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lessons you learn. And I learned that I'm a very strong person. I'm a very, very strong person, and my um, the fact that I really try not to take the easy bait of getting into the conflict and the combative, and I try to keep things positive and strong and supportive. Um, I'm really proud of that, because that really takes a lot. It's so much easier to take the negative, the combative,
Yeah.
the the right in front of you there route, versus the really fighting against that. Um,
Now you
but
used to see you were a professional dancer.
yeah,
You were, and you are an actress. So they're different, and a comedian. So, and all those are all different crafts. But is there something that you've learned, lessons that you've learned from skating and acting that you could bring to comedy?
oh yeah,
Especially since as a dancer, you have a partner that you're relying on that you have to work with. Now in the comedy, I guess the partner is the audience, and it's still that same dancing back and forth. But you
yeah.
could,
Thank
you,
God there's no partner. Thank God.
yeah,
And yeah, you learn a lot. You like and I could tell GD, you're as well very like performative. I think it's a very performative thing. You know, it's all about what you bring to it. So like my very first mic ended up, I was really nervous, but it ended up going really well because I used a lot of the acting skills and
right,
just being comfortable on stage. So it very much, it makes you so much stronger. Because you do see a lot of comics who are mainly more like uh, writers. They're good writers, but you know they stay up there on stage and it's very
yes,
monotone. Yeah.
yeah. That's part of what I'm trying to get people to understand about the show that we're doing here, Don't Way Past Funny, is that some people want to be in comedy and they don't understand that there's more than one way to be in comedy. You
Absolutely.
could be a great writer and a terrible performer.
Yeah.
You could be a great performer and can't write a joke to save your freaking soul.
Exactly. You
And
need it
so,
all. You need
yeah,
it all.
right.
Yeah.
So you could be like a writer, you could be a producer, you could be an actor. You just necessarily don't have to be a comedian.
And then you can be great at it all, but then you just can't take the constant drama of every
Oh
night of what it
yes,
takes.
yes.
Yeah.
You
So
could be
there's
great at all of
so
you could be
many.
great at all those things and be a terrible people person.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Not know how to, yeah, there's just so much that goes into it. It's intense. Yeah.
Now, how did you come to be or get the dry bar gig? Because it's.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like
Decades
thousands
and
and thousands
decades
of.
of work, of decades of crazy hard work
I mean,
doing
you approach them, they approach you.
or um that's a good question. Yeah, there's a lot of I think there's a lot of comics recommending, and it ended up that I was already doing a couple of years doing 45-minute sets, and I was able to do like a clean, super clean 45. But
Okay,
it's a very long, long process. Yeah.
that's cool. Now, I I think I thought I just asked you that. Okay, the dry bar experience though, was there anything in particular that you could take away from it? Something that you didn't know before, that now that you've done this, you can look back and go, before this, I didn't know this about myself or about my style or about what I do.
Um, I don't want this to sound arrogant, but again, I'm a really strong comic. I'm a good performer and writer,
Yeah.
and I was hearing, before I was doing it, like horror stories about how people do longer, 30, 40-minute super clean sets, and it doesn't go well. And the fact that I tackle that just it shows me that I feel like, yeah, I could work any room. And they say corporate gigs are very difficult. I've done those, and it ended up being, doing well in casinos. So I feel like I tackle a lot of things. Like I'm a very
Have you done a
strong.
senior center? Have you done a senior center?
I've done a senior center. I've done a
And how was
homeless
that for you?
shelter.
Because that is a really different beast. If they're
Yeah.
really old senior, if they're real seniors.
And not only that, JD, I'll give you even more. It was a senior center. A lot of it was like there was I also did like a combination: a senior center, a rehab, and mental disabilities all in one.
Wow.
And whew, but I was telling, we told my husband about what was happening and how thankful everybody was afterwards, and how um, I was able to connect with some people. I kind of let in the craziness that was going on. I just kind of embraced it, and it ended up being a really great show. It was very challenging. I saw some of the other comics just like not knowing what to do, but I think I've worked so many hostile bars and casinos and been in all kinds of situations where it didn't really, I mean, it phased me. It was tough, but I was able to be in it. I don't know. I think because I had such a difficult childhood.
Yeah.
I came over from Ukraine when I was 7. I was a refugee. We stayed at refugee camps, few different countries. I was a latchkey kid, and just starting to get over the trauma of it. But I think because I was able to survive all that, when I'm in crisis mode, my husband always says when I'm in crisis mode and where I'm in very difficult things, that's when I'm the most calm. When things are going okay and things are calm, that's when I'm like, holy shit, this is scary. This is not what I'm used to. And I gotta make some chaos or something happen.
Now,
But
uh,
I think it is unusual that I'm like that. And I think um, I understand people who've been through a lot and share that same kind of perspective in life. It's not even perspective, it's just how you're conditioned. So it is unique.
now, you mentioned your husband, and I love to ask this question. Have you ever been in an argument or arguing with your husband, and in the middle of the argument, you realize, oh, this would be really good material,
Oh,
and
all the
then
time,
so
all the time, and
so
he's hilarious. So he makes it easy. Like, so I'm Jewish, so there is the stereotype of complaining that is very true. I even tell him it's not complaining. This is how we talk. Like this is, and I'm Eastern European. Like it's the most depressing. Eastern European and Jewish together. Are you kidding me? That is like whoa. And then he's Italian, and they scream. They're like big. It's like an opera. It's always like so. I'm constantly complaining. He's constantly screaming. I mean, it's just like, it's a sitcom waiting to happen.
so when
Yeah.
those moments happen, because as a comedian, usually with a comedian, you're like, I gotta write that down.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know. So do you like end the argument? Do you say hold that thought, write it
Oh,
down? Do you
absolutely, all the
do?
time.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. See, because I was thinking, because my way of dealing with it was I let them win so that the
Mm.
argument ends, and then I go write it down. It's
That's
like,
very smart.
you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. And then I said, I'm sorry, and I walk out and they're like, okay, that was really good stuff.
I'll give you even another one. A lot of times I'm arguing inside my own head. He's like, "Who are you even?" Like because like I said, I've had a very tumultuous childhood upbringing. My parents, I love them very much, but oh my God, it's insane. So a lot of times it's just my inner and I'm very grateful to my husband for making me so aware of sometimes, he's nothing but super supportive and loving, and I have there's a lot of issues in there that I'm trying to work through.
Now, your son is in quite a few videos with you.
Mom, the steak is raw.
Yeah, baby, you like it raw.
Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw.
Yeah.
So, is he getting the bug to be on camera? Do you think he wants to be an actor or a
Well,
comedian? And would you encourage it?
again, this is a lot of fun. I love your questions, and he's it's past the bug. He's been kind of doing this since he was like 4 or 5. He's
Kind of like you were then.
yeah, I guess since he was a kid. Yeah, I guess maybe he started even earlier, and hopefully we're making him more well adjusted. And but and I'm not just saying this because I'm his mom. A lot of people are telling me this, and he's incredibly talented. He sees how hard I work, so he is. He did this is like his 5th musical that he's doing. He
Wow.
did community theater. Yeah, he was like the
Okay.
lead in his school. Then he did so well in his school that the director asked him to perform in a few other schools. So he's getting lead roles in that, and he's writing his own plays. And he's playing the piano. Yeah, he loves acting. So he's already, and I headlined a few times at Catch a Rising Star, and I took him with me, and I had him do like a couple of jokes, and he was incredible. They were the
Yeah.
filthiest jokes ever, but they were his own, and he was just very charming and respectful, and he's very hardworking and talented. I'm so proud of him.
So the only thing he's missing then is he needs a refugee camp experience. So
Yes,
that he could.
I think thankfully being with me and living in Brooklyn, he's getting a taste of a lot of different things.
Oh, okay, because
Yeah.
what he can have the talent, but unless you have the suffering, I mean,
Yeah,
it's-
he's suffered. We lived we lived in some very interesting places, and we just moved recently, but for 12 years we lived pretty much the mecca of all crime, and right next door, the neighbors, they had a trap house, which was interesting. I don't know I'm sure
that's
you know.
music, right? Trap music, isn't that?
Yeah, trap
house-
music, except
house?
they were for real. There was no music, just drugs.
Oh,
And- yeah.
okay. See, because I'm sorry, I live in a hoity-toity neighborhood. When you say trap,
Yeah.
I thought there's like music blaring all the time. Okay.
Yeah, that too. And yeah, it was intense. Anytime the news would come on, there's a shooting, it would be like right a block away or half a block or right
So
next
do y'all
door.
walk down to see it? Come on. Let's go.
Pretty much, we'd see the police. No, it's for real. It was like that. I have some bits about that, about almost being involved around a shooting like half a block away, and running away. But yeah, so he's proud to say suffered. So
Now, you say you've been doing comedy about a little over a decade. Same here. So I'm assuming that.
oh, cool.
I'm
Congrats,
assuming
we
that.
did it.
I'm assuming that somewhere along the line you've had reactions to material that wasn't the standard reaction. Because we all like to laugh. We all laugh with the snort and stuff like that. But was there an interaction with an audience member, either I guess during the show or after the show, that doesn't have to be good or bad, just really just stands out for you?
Oh, honestly, there's been so many. There's just been so many.
What's the first that comes to mind?
I guess when you're starting out, you don't realize what, as much, you're not as self-aware. I think there was like a midnight show downtown in a bar, and there was a British guy, and he was like, "Boo-hoo, cry me a river," something like that. Like, I was just talking about my,
Now, did he say
experience. He
Crimea
was such an
because he knew you were
asshole.
from? Did he say Crimea because he knew you were from Ukraine, or was that he was just
Oh,
saying?
that's funny. No, I don't know. I think he was just a drunk and an asshole.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, and then I think I had this like Biden joke where I was just saying like for him, we're afraid that he's gonna trip on some stairs. This was also years ago, obviously, and um, it was in New York. It was on like the Upper West Side, and the back of the bar for some reason started booing, which I was like, wow, I can't believe in New York they're so crazy conservative. That's weird. Because
Yeah.
I know different states, and I don't do politics at all, especially now.
See,
But
I love to do politics.
yeah, I am just really disgusted with what's going on, and I just want these 4 years to end.
Oh, so
And,
you're hopeful that it's going to be 4 years. See, I'm thinking
I'm hoping. I'm
I'm
hoping
I'm
it's not from where I come from, which is a Eastern Europe regime. This is crazy.
well, that's what they're trying to do, but let's not talk about that because
Yeah, let's
first
not.
of all,
This is what I'm
first
talking about. This I can't. I
yeah.
get. Oh my god, end of the world kind of. I get really, yeah, intense.
Now I know we're short on time because you want to be. It's 1:02, so anytime you need to go, just let me know.
Okay.
Because this is based on you and what you want to do, what you're comfortable with. So I just don't want now being a woman in comedy. Okay, I think most men are pricks anyway. But in comedy, I think they're particularly
You're
prickish when
not,
it.
and it's appreciated. You're not. You're a good
Well,
guy.
I could say some things. No, I'm not talking about. I've been paid compliments that I was raised by my mother. My dad died when I was very young,
Sorry.
and so my mother raised me with the concept of what she thought a man should be. So
Hmm.
I'm more like a woman's version of what a man should be, and not a man's version of what a man should be.
Well, I like whatever version you are and you were raised. They did a great job, and you did a great job. So
Thank you. So,
yeah.
but I think that men can be particularly prickish when it comes to dealing with women comedians.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily. It's almost like you have to. Basically, I don't want to preach for you or give your answer for you,
Yeah.
but your experience in comedy, are you seeing that the sexism
Oh,
and
100%. Yeah. And it's just I think it's just the generational thing as well. Like even, my husband, that generation, my son, that generation views women as equal, but the older generation, like even when I'm just around, it is a bit like of a boys club, and I feel a little bit excluded. It also, I mean, I'm gonna be generous and say it's also because women comics have not been allowed to be in those circles. So it's like these comics have these like 30-20 year bonds of being around each other, working, and I haven't had that. So you do feel excluded, and that's okay. But the thing is, and I just did a gig where I've heard stories where I was like, I knew something was weird, but like agents and top comics just sexual, like blatant sexual
yeah,
harassment. And
that,
I've had my own stories where I was like, are you fucking kidding me? No. So
that's in
I've
here. I
done
actually
that.
that's one of my questions because that's.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had people, I've had men pressure me for sex.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I'm not even an attractive woman. So I can't even imagine I can't even imagine what an attractive woman goes through. It's like,
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
oh,
That sounds awful. And
no,
was it a bit
for me, it's
flattering
just
a
an
little,
experience.
or?
Well, for me, it's just an experience. I don't process those things the same way as not so much be like we'd be angry or something. To me, it's just an experience, and I try to move on. Well, I'm older, And I realize that the kind of old person I'm going to be is going to be based on whatever memories I take with me. And if I hold on to the good stuff, I'll be a good old person. If I hold on to the bad stuff, I'm going to be one of those, get off my lawn, you little bastards. So, and I want to be the kind of person that says, you come in my yard. Yeah. But take your
I
shoes
like
off.
that a lot. I
Yeah.
didn't know we had this much in common. I'm kind of feeling the same way. I feel like I'm working so hard on myself and trying to make life better that I feel like it gets better with age if you put in the work, like you said. I think that's really a beautiful thing that you're saying.
Hi, I'm G.D. Fenderson, Certified Forensic Humorist and host of Way Past Funny. You have just watched part 1 of our interview with comedian and actress Lana Siebel. Please join us as we continue our interview, and when you come back to join us, bring a friend.